kind of hard. So that's why I'm like scrambling right now. I want to get it out.
Good afternoon. How's everybody today? Thank you for being here today. It's great to see such a nice crowd. Appreciate that. Thank you. Lots of visitors. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the beautiful weather that we've been enjoying the last few weeks. We ask that you would bless this meeting and everybody that's here today. Also that you would bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's do a pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Four-way test.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Please be seated. Do we have any happy dollars? I know Landon's got one.
So the Louisville bowling team is currently doing a fundraiser, sponsorship, more of a sponsorship thing. There's a paper that can be passed around here. You guys can take a picture, get a good look at it, but it's more just to update equipment, apparel, and just to help some of the students get newer equipment for the newbies. I'm trying to think of what else there is on there. I think it goes from, you could be a bronze from $25 all the way up to however much you'd like. $250 gets the Rotary logo put on the back of our team shirts. And if anybody's interested, find me over here in the corner. Thank you.
Thank you, Landon.
And there's also 4 of our ambassadors that are actually on the bowling team as well, along with one of our foreign exchange students, Flavi.
I have 2. So number 1 is a cry for help. I had a patron come to the library and ask if we were going to plan on digging up the time capsule since we're moving the library and it's about time to dig it up. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so I called Mike Snyder. You guys might remember Mike. He didn't know. Talked to some longtime library staff members. They vaguely remember this. So if anybody remembers burying a time capsule at the Louisville Library, please let me know.
Roll over better.
Like the investigator. I can't find it. I have no idea where this thing is, if it even exists. But if you happen to remember doing that, what's that?
It does exist.
Do you know where it is?
No, we
I
put
don't.
stuff in it.
We put stuff in it.
Yeah, that's what they
Our
told me.
kids were in
Yeah.
grade school.
Yeah.
Back and check the barrel.
I've been trying. I've been trying to use. So that's my second happy dollar. We worked with the Historical Society, and all from 1887 clear to 2023. Every issue of the Louisville Herald is now online, completely searchable. If you didn't have a chance to punch that link I sent you, I suggest you do. It's really cool. Jim always talks about the Rotary Haunted House. I was able to find that. Some of you guys might remember Dr. Armstrong, right? He was featured in there. I am using that to try to find the time capsule. But if somebody could actually take me to a spot and say dig here, that would be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to announce that 4
Listen up.
students going to RILA this year are Max Roberts, Ty Schuler, Taylor Martin, and Chloe Miller. So if you know them, say congratulations. Again, that's the first weekend in February.
Any other happy dollars?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
Brock and I started a project over the last couple of weeks, and it's not quite finished, but it's at least published and out there. We have a full-blown community calendar now that all the different entities, the library, the YMCA, and so forth. We've got it up on my site. Brock's got it on his as well. And if you're looking for an event, something to do, we have it for you. It's live, and don't worry, we're still putting stuff in. I spent the other night putting 20 basketball games in, and I'll be spending probably the day putting another 20 in.
And Rob's been putting Rotary events on there too.
Yeah, anything and everything for the Rotary will be in there.
Rob, both your insignia and Doc Thomas's, he had a television thing, website going. And are they the same company? And are you,
As far as, well,
what was that called, Glenn? We were watching basketball games on Doc Thomas's channel.
well, I am partnered with a company called YSN, Your Sports Network.
Okay.
Okay, and what we do is, we partner up on the sports. They have 67 schools they represent, and so in order to get the kids more exposure, they have all-star teams and all-star games. We have partnered up with them. We did last year, we did again this year, that we broadcast all the games. It's put on Spotlight as well. So you can go to Spotlight, or you can go
Is
to...
that the company that Doc is involved with, Spotlight? There it is. What's your relationship with them?
He just sponsors it.
He is Spotlight.
He's the owner, the founder, Robin.
I'm the owner.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, you're the same company.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I am the owner of Spotlight Media Network, in case anybody didn't know. Obviously, when we lost the Herald, we kind of lost our communication hub. I know Louisville neighbors, we do a lot of stuff together as far as stuff like that, so, she does the print, I do the digital, and that way, we're trying to get you everything that we lost when we lost the Herald, so.
Cool, thank you. We've got a number of visitors today. Jerry, you want to introduce your brother?
My brother, been here over 4, Joel.
Hey,
Thank you for being here. Sally Samblene is with us today. Would you like to do your little thing?
Do my little thing. I'm the director of the Louisville Community Cover, and in the past, I was Citizen of the Year for the Rotary.
Amen.
Yes. So I just want you to know, Stark County Hunger Task Force, they are the main entity of all the food banks in Stark County, all the backpack programs, all of those things. Once a year they have a banquet, and this year we were the pantry of the year for them for 2024. So out of 39 pantries in Stark County, we were at the top of the list.
Well deserved.
Thank you. And so I thought, since you give us grants and you do a lot of support, you should all know. I had it online, so some of you already knew. Yeah, some of you did. But it was a great night and says a lot about our volunteers. It's a big project.
Great.
And this morning I was unloading trucks, and this afternoon I'm here. So that's how our days go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glenn, you want to introduce your...
This is Mark Greco. He's a retired teacher from Arlington. We've been friends way too long. Now that he has more time, he said he'd be interested in helping out and being part of and participating with Rotary. So this is his first meeting, but
He'd be a great asset.
me?
Okay.
Oh.
It's how old we both are. We were talking before the meeting. I used to umpire his baseball games, and Mark was the catcher, and I was the umpire, and we were talking about the Peters and the Cases and the rest of the boys. But, small world. That was just a couple of years ago, right? It was a lot. It was a lot of years ago. Got a visitor over here, Sherry Swisher. Sherry works for the First Commonwealth Bank here in Louisville and lived in Louisville for what, around
32 years.
I was going to say 30,
Yeah.
30 years, 32 years. She was a Rotary member over in Plain Township when you worked over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she is interested in becoming a Louisville Rotary member. Anybody else that I missed? Landon already talked, and he'll talk some more here in a couple minutes. think that's pretty much everybody except for Joel Rich, and we'll talk about Joel here in a minute. I received a thank you card, which I'll pass around, from North Nimishillen Elementary School. Very nice card thanking us for the Coats for Kids program. So to everybody that helped with Coats for Kids, whether you gave them out or gave money or whatever, thank you. North Min really appreciates that, and I'll pass that card around and you can take a quick look at it. As far as Rollerball Winter Weekly, we got a whopping $5 that we're going to give out today. And Joel, since you're our guest speaker, how about you, see if I can do this without upsetting anything or make tickets go the wrong place. Reach in there and grab a ticket for us, if you would, please. What you got? Jerry Dunbar. There, get the Big Mac for today. Thank you. Okay, that takes care of Rollerball, at least for now. Hey there, how are you?
Well, if you pick up what we'll get 95.
We have a new member who's going to be sworn in today, so Cindy Fisher and Greg Anderson, the floor is yours. Smile and nod.
All right, folks, it's always a good day when we add a new member, and it's exciting to see 2 possible new members here today as well. So, with the induction ceremony, today we welcome to our ranks and admit to membership Cindy Fisher. By virtue of your membership in this club, Cindy, you will be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary club in the world. So if you are in a different community, a different place, you can feel free to go to a Rotary meeting anywhere and you'll be accepted by people all over the world. So one of those added benefits if you're out traveling the world. As you know, the ideal of Rotary is service, and our principal motto is service above self, and the objective of this club is to encourage and foster this ideal. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You're expected to attend club meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to put your talents at work in carrying out the principles of Rotary. The pin here. This pin should be worn at each Rotary meeting as an emblem of your membership and your pride in the good works of Rotary. As you look around the room, you'll see lots of pins being worn. So again, it's the ideal. Here's our Rotary card, and there's a couple of things on the Rotary card related to the objective of Rotary, which is to encourage and foster service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to foster the development of friends, high ethical standards, service, and the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace, which is one of the reasons why we have our 2 international students this year, is to learn and understand from other groups and people around the world, because when we all know each other better, we all work together better. We ask that you judge your daily actions by the Rotary 4-way test. So on the card there, we recite it during every meeting. So learn that, but it's also a way that we guide our actions and what we value. We look forward to you enriching the life of the club and its members through your association with Rotary, the world's oldest, largest, and finest service organization. And now, by the power vested in me by the Rotary Club of Louisville and District 6650, I declare you an active member of this Rotary Club. So members, please welcome to membership, Cindy Fisher.
Congratulations. Thanks, Greg. All right, that's always a good thing, right? If you're interested in being a part of our speakers committee for January, February, and March, please let me know. We've had a really good run of speakers here, and with all the grant awarding and such, we should have a nice lineup of speakers for the first 3 months in 2025. December 1st is Light Up Louisville from, I believe it's 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock now. She's shaking her head.
Yeah.
If you're interested in helping Rotary serve hot chocolate, we've secured, is it the Leggett Building?
Yeah, that's the plan for the Leggett building.
Yeah, if you know where the Leggett Building is in downtown Louisville, it's almost right across from what, Beatty Sports, I guess?
Yeah, it's right across from the Umbrella Alley.
Yeah, right across from Umbrella Alley, right there. We're gonna be indoors, so you won't have to be outside freezing like a lot of people may not be, depending on the weather. But if you're interested in helping, please sign up. I know Barb's purchased hot chocolate. I'm gonna go to Sam's and buy some hot chocolate. I checked with Greg, and we've got some cups in the barn we can use. I've texted Mark to ask him about the pots and stuff to make the water and things, so hopefully we're on our way. So I'll pass this around. If you're interested in signing up, please do so. Yes?
Just one point, if we use our coffee pots, hot water only, don't put the hot chocolate into the tanks. Put the hot chocolate into the cups, pour water over
Right.
it.
Everybody got that?
Yes.
Cool, thank you.
'Cause then
All right, I'll pass this around
It just really helps.
to you.
Different.
So that's Light Up
Where
Louisville.
do I get them?
Let's see. Thank you to everybody. Glenn, sounds like things went pretty well with the flags.
Yep, we picked up the last flag a couple days ago, and we're getting all the old ones back in that were torn. We've got about 200 came back in, which is about 1/6, which is sort of typical. So we're gonna get those repaired before May. We're always looking for new drivers. We're adding more customers, which means more drivers. So anybody that knows somebody else that wants to volunteer to be a flag driver, let me know, or you, or Jim, or something.
And we have a project for flags after this today.
We don't. I thought we were gonna have to take the flags down from the football stadium, but Mark Sigler texted me, he's working on it. 10 minutes ago, he had one left, so we got it all covered.
Oh, okay. Take the afternoon off. Thank you. Cool. Also, if you have any money that you've not dropped off or paid for the pancake breakfast tickets, please do so. Shondor, did you get some money today, I think?
Yeah.
I think I gave you a check for somebody and saw some other monies coming in. If you took tickets, please pay for them. Pay that money over to Shondor if you would, please. Landon, do you want to talk about Interact and pickleball?
Yeah. So a couple things. The day of the pancake breakfast, me and Amanda DiGiacomo went to an Interact conference. It was pretty cool. We got to see people our age there and kind of get to talk from what they're doing at their Rotary or their Interact club. And so with that, we got to discuss service projects with each other. I was able to share how Rotary was a part of helping Brandon Pittman's medical bills by the fundraiser at McDonald's. I was also able to do the Purple Pinky project, so we got to present that as well. With that, we had a couple of service project ideas that we are hoping to be able to move back into the school with Rotary's help. And I can kind of get more in depth if you guys would like on that. But on top of that, I guess the biggest thing that we were realizing while we were at this meeting is Rotary is advertised really highly in every one of these schools that we talk to. And as of Louisville right now, people know of Rotary through Key Club as the ambassadors. But we would really like for Rotary to not only be more advertised, but to be pushed and known that you guys help out with Louisville as much as you guys do, especially with the schools. For the pickleball tournament, we are full go. Student council is willing to dive in and do what we can to help with the pickleball tournament. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, Shondor. We've seen the brochure. Like I said, we're all good for it. So just with approval of you guys, we would be able to dive in with it and kind of collab on that.
Cool, thank you. And Amy and Shondor, maybe you guys can talk about the pickleball tournament and kind of compare schedules, and maybe even with Brock's work on the community schedule and so on. We can kind of pick a date here in the spring when it's not gonna rain and it's not gonna be windy and it's gonna be 75 degrees, just like San Diego. Little update on the amphitheater project. Council voted unanimously Monday night to donate or provide $50,000 toward the amphitheater project. Primarily, they're going to do the cement work, the 520 lineal feet path.
Up to.
Okay, up to $50,000. Thank you.
For that.
But primarily, they're going to focus on the 520 lineal foot, 5 feet wide path from the library property down to the amphitheater. Probably a 20 by 20 pad at the amphitheater for wheelchairs to make it handicap accessible, and also a walkway to get up to the stage and possibly around the other side, maybe a 10 by 10 pad, so that we have a place where the people who are going to run sound for the different activities and events will be able to park their equipment and things. Yes?
Just for a general idea, we got 92,000 for the naming rights. We got 50,000 from the city. That's 142,000. What's next? Did you have any more? Because at 260 is the total amount. How close are we to any
Right
more?
now, we're at about, with in-kind donations, we're at about $192,000.
So, thank you.
So we're 260 is our goal, 192 is where we're at. Anybody that would like to give some money toward the project, it'd be a good time, end of the year, for taxes or whatever, please consider donating. This is a Rotary Leave a Legacy project. And folks, if you're part of the Rotary program, please consider contributing. It's our project. And we're spending the time and the effort to make it happen. Yeah.
And just so for the people that are here as guests, as soon as the job is done and the amphitheater's built, the keys are turned over to the city and it's their property. It's going to be on their property, so they're going to own it, not Rotary. We just get it going and make it happen.
Yep. So we're getting to where we need to go. Joni's on council. Thank you for your help and support in doing that. We met with Andy Shorosky this morning at 11 o'clock and talked over a few things regarding his help and support. And I received an email last night at 5 o'clock from the Stark County Community Foundation. We have a matching grant of $60,000 into them request, and they're asking us for a bunch of other information. I won't worry with the details. Brock's working on helping do that. Thank you very much. And we're making some progress on that front too. So we're getting there, folks. Our speaker today is Joel Rich from Midlake. Joel, come on up. The floor is yours. Let's give a round of applause for Joel. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for having me today. So my name is Joel. I have been in Louisville for most of my life. I went to St. Thomas Aquinas, actually, so just across the street is where I went to high school. I went to Boston College for 4 years. I went for football, but they gave me a business degree on my way out. So that was very nice of them. After school, I came back to Ohio. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, so I just started hanging out at my dad's shop, and I have not left. I'm not sure how many folks here have heard of Midlake products. Okay, quite a few. How many people know what we do? Less, right? So Midlake's been in the community since 1987. Actually, our first shop was a 2-car garage on Gorgas, just off of Gorgas. My uncle started the business back in the 80s. He was working in a factory that actually went to Mexico. In the auction for that company, he purchased a punch press, and they told him it has to be out by Saturday. So me and my dad took this thing to a 2-car garage on Gorgas. They weren't really sure what they were going to do with this new punch press that they acquired. At the time, my grandfather was selling hinges and hardware in Chicago. he came across these opportunities that were too small for his company to do. So what he would do is there would be these small hinge product, low volume, that these smaller customers, they couldn't get anybody to do this work, so he started to send those opportunities to my uncle. So what my uncle and my dad would do is they would get these long pieces of continuous piano hinge, so like what you might see on the back of a toolbox, and they would cut them down to smaller lengths, put holes in to match whatever their customer needed, and then that slowly grew into a hinge business. They eventually, so 94, they moved into our location, which is where we're still at today, which is on Nickel Plate. So we are by the Michelin Garage. So if you're down that way, you'll see the front part that you see from the road is the original building. We've since added on 4 times, but what you see from the road is the original location for the last 30 years. So in the 90s, our business grew. We started to, rather than just opportunities my grandfather was sending down, we started to have our own customers. We had, that whole building was full of punch presses at that point, so we did a lot of stamping of continuous hinge products. In the early 2000s, we got into a technology called laser cutting. What laser cutting does is you take a flat sheet of metal and you're able to cut a profile out of that flat sheet of metal. Where that was beneficial to us is these hinge products, you had a significant amount of tooling you had to make to produce a hinge. Now with a laser, you don't have tooling costs anymore. So we got this competitive advantage in our little niche industry. With laser cutting, we were like, what else can we make out of metal? So that really expanded what we could offer to our customers. So beginning in the 2000s, Midlake actually was one of the largest manufacturers of medical delivery units. So when you go into a surgery, they have all these, all their tools are in a very specialized toolbox. We would produce a lot of the bracketry and the cabinets that those go into. In the 2000s, a lot of that work went overseas to China, unfortunately. So when that happened, it was what was next? What's next for us? So we really focused on our hinge product, that we kind of went back to our roots. So for, I would say, like 2010 to about 2016, we were a custom hinge manufacturer. So we would make things that you would not find in the hardware store. So a lot of our products that we made were very niche, like ATMs, for example. They have to be very tamper resistant. So the hinge that's tamper resistant is a very custom application. Our customer would design this hinge and we would manufacture it for them. It was good, business is good, but it's a pretty small market. Not a lot of people need custom hinges. So what we have done in the last, since I've been there 7 years, we've really repositioned ourselves today to be a contract manufacturer of metal products. So where we used to produce a hinge, we now actually produce the entire metal item that this hinge would go onto. So I use an ATM as an example. We do produce like ATM chassis. So where we used to go just sell the little hinge that would go onto an ATM, we can now create the whole metal chassis. Today we still do a little bit of medical work, so we still do a lot of metal products that end up in surgery deliveries, and bracketry to hold their custom tools and stuff like that. Data centers, so all these data centers, they have all this electronic hardware. It all sits on a metal chassis. So that's where we come in. Companies contract us on a quarterly, or 6-month or 12-month basis to produce these big metal components for them. So for example, for the data centers, we ship about 12 cabinets every week that are going down to places like Intel, just as an example. So it's quite a bit different than just the hinges we used to make. So I know historically that's what people knew us is these custom hinge folks, but today it's a lot more than that. We're actually, in terms of capability for metal fabricators, so what we do with metal, we are in the top 1% of North American manufacturers. So in terms of capability, there are folks that have more capacity than us, but in terms of actual capability and what we can turn sheet metal into, we are in the top 1%. We're up to about 70 employees at this point. We work around the clock, 7 days a week. And it's kind of what we do. Sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything to do with the aviation industry?
No, we don't do, we used to do a little bit of aviation. We have some small aviation applications. Generally, no. Generally, our biggest ones right now are data centers. We do a lot of aftermarket truck applications. We have some agricultural applications, but agriculture's been kind of down lately. Medical, and I'd say those are probably the biggest industries we get into. Sure.
I want to say, I met Joel, you know, we're building a new library, and I didn't want to take a bunch of our old book carts, because they're all beat up and everything, and rolling around the new library, so they're $500 a pop, so it was going to cost me about $10,000 to replace them. And I went to Joel and asked, like, is there anything we can do? So Joel refinished them all, repainted, powder coated them all for completely free for the library. And also, I'll say another, I mean, Sally's here, but I took food to the pantry and I see a midlake truck sitting out there every week, so.
They pick up twice monthly for us for nothing on their time with their employee. And really, we wouldn't be able to do it without them. We pick up 1,800 pounds of food twice monthly, and without them, it wouldn't happen.
So what was the new building that you just added?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our areas of growth is assembly. So assembly now, before we would just make a metal part and it kind of ships to the customer. Now you actually have to kind of gather up hundreds of different metal parts, put them together, and then of course takes space. So just this year we opened up a 20,000 square foot assembly edition. So if you're driving down Nickel Plate and you look, our building is like a big, long, straight building. And this section that now makes an L of our building, that's now our assembly plant. The other addition that was complete 2012, I think, was the one prior to that. That's the farthest back of the building. That's a powder coating division, so our powder coating and welding capabilities are housed in there. The front two sections, the original part and the first edition, is where we do laser cutting, metal punching, metal bending, hardware installation. Then it goes to welding, powder coating, then to assembly, then to ultimately our customers. Yeah.
I would just say that I know an employee that works there, and he told me it's the best place he's ever worked.
Appreciate that. We love to hear that. Yes.
Do you have a hard time getting good help?
Yeah, I'd say hiring employees is a challenge. You know, so one of our competitive advantages is we've really gone in on automation. We're one of the most automated facilities in North America for sheet metal. And it's not due to, a lot of people hear automation and they think it's to eliminate jobs. Our math has really changed. We can't hire people. There's nobody to hire. So before, if sales would go up $1 million, say, you knew you had to hire X number of employees. Now we put out that many we put out that thing in the paper for that many jobs, only half of people apply and only half of that number stick. But we still need to get that growth, so how do we get there? We've invested pretty heavily in automation and different artificial intelligence technologies to kind of bridge that gap for us. So even today, so prior to our medical work going overseas, we have now met where we were at sales revenue wise. There's a big dip in between then and now, but we're doing it with half the number of employees. It's just simply because we can't find the technical skills that we need for the stuff we do. Sure.
Do you pull, or have you in the past pulled people like from RG Drag and
Yes.
from Stark State too as well?
Yes, actually both those programs. We've had a lot of, we've had some good success. The welding program at RG Drag, we've had a couple guys, we've had some guys that they're looking for a job while they're going through drag. So they work for us for a few months and then they go on to do whatever it is that they ultimately wanted to do, but we've had a few stick. So we have one gentleman right now. He graduated and is now a full-time welder for us. In Stark State's programming, so they have a manufacturing engineer degree, and we've had some programmers come out of that's been quite successful. So yeah, I'd say both of those programs.
Use CNC and all that sort of stuff, or?
Yes, almost every machine has some kind of CNC programming involved. So that's probably the place where we need the most help is in the programming side. Anyone who has technical skills to program a robot, program a CNC piece of equipment, it's a very valuable skill. It's a great career path too one example is we've had a press brake operator who's been at Midlake for a very long time. He had a GED, and that was as far as his education went, but now he programs CNC equipment. And so for somebody who went from a GED to now is programming, $1 million pieces of equipment, it's a pretty cool career path for him. I'm very happy to see that, there's a lot of opportunity for folks that want to take that and get that training.
Sure. I know Brock has 2 or 3 laser printers that we could all use. Do you do any work with laser printers? Because you got support with this hinge and something to attach the hinge to. Do you use plastic in any of your work?
If we're using plastic, we're generally purchasing it in pretty significant volumes. We don't get into a lot of 3D printing, I'm assuming is what you're referring to. We use 3D printing more from like a fixturing standpoint. So, for example, for welding, if we had to weld this thing, we need something to hold it. So we might 3D print something to enclose that while we're working on it. But we don't really see it much on a production standpoint. Sure.
How is the ice cream business going?
I'm just a customer there.
Everyone appreciates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my mom and my sister-in-law, so I like to go every day for coffee. I'll probably go on my way back to the shop, but yeah, we appreciate everyone's support of Virgil's. It's been a very fun experience.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'll leave some brochures up here. So if
Okay,
anybody's
sure, yeah.
interested, there's some
Yeah, if
pictures.
anybody wants some of these, by all means,
There's some product pictures.
a
It's,
couple of each.
to
too.
say we make stuff out of metal, it's not very exciting, but to actually see some pictures of some of the work we do, it kind of helps spark a little bit.
I got to go through that a month ago.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Like we went through the dairy farm, would you have us go through your business sometime for a tour?
Yeah, we're always open to do something like that. If that's something anyone's interested, we could set up a time. Be happy to host.
That's what I would be for.
Sure.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
A couple things before we get out of here. Next Wednesday, there is no Rotary meeting because of Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. Our next meeting will be in 2 weeks, and that'll be, believe it or not, December already.
Wow.
So we will have our business meeting in 2 Wednesdays. So be aware of that. Jerry gets to pick a marble. He hits the white one, and he wins the
Do you want to see this?
wins the jackpot.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure. Are you gonna take it back?
Not
I'll
today.
get another one.
No
You
luck.
take that, I'll find another one.
All right. Anything else?
I
Anybody
like
else
to see
have
that stuff,
anything?
so I'll just-
Again, thank you for being here. Visitors, thank you very much for being here. Welcome Cindy Fisher as a new Rotary member. Other than that, we're done. Thank you.